My name is Christopher Burns. I was diagnosed with autism at the age of 32 and have lived in a family home in Cornwall since the age of 12. Now in my 40s and growing grey hair. I normally do the artwork for Apple, but the pictures you see on Twitter about poverty is usually come from me and my experience, what I hear around Cornwall and the world generally. So that was done for Apple for the International Day for Eradicating Poverty. So that's a UN global event. The reason why I think Apple is important to me is the tax issues which some people simply don't want to talk about. Because poverty can be a very difficult thing for people to understand and to accept sometimes. That's my art. It allows me actually to use my brain in the way I want to. For me, it's escapism, a way of actually escaping from poverty and escaping from neglect. That's my journey to work. Drive every single day. I have to drive as there is no public transport alternative. I've worked from the age of 18 either in paid employment or voluntary roles. My wage is my sole income and I work as a kitchen porter at a leisure resort. I work normally between 25 and 30 hours a week. That's my kettlebell because I've torn a muscle in my back. So I have to do flexion and I have to keep track. I do it to stay in work because if I don't do that, everything will seize up. What happens if I become ill and can't work for a month or so? Can I really afford to live there? If I left here, you're potentially leaving 30 years of memories in this house. So there's an emotional impact on that. And then obviously you've got the people who you care about, who you see every week, and then you think, well, I'm going to have to say goodbye to them. So yeah, it's the people who I see every week. That was yesterday. It was a bit wet. It was not all sunshine in Cornwall. When it rains, it does rain. You feel the cold more. I haven't put the heating on. The only time I put the heating on is when I get up in the morning, which is about 10 minutes. Even if I'm freezing cold in bed, I don't put the heating on. Because I try to limit the energy what I use. At the moment, I don't pay electric, Mum does, but that's still changing in the new year. Since Mum was put into a care home around 2 years ago, I've been fending for myself. That's my sort of charger, so when the sun is out, I use that to charge my phone. Part of a COVID-19 support group. It's online, and they come from right across the UK. I'm the only one from Cornwall, Devon, who's part of it. They were talking about the cost of living crisis on Wednesday, and they were talking about energy. Some of them, they've got prepayment meters. This is more expensive than direct debit. Or concerns with whether someone's got medical equipment in the homes. How enough do they pay for that? I feel anxious, worried, and concerned that disability will see further neglect. In many ways, the four walls around me has been my harbour of safety. There is a good reason why people with learning disabilities, autism, can be so reliant on their families. Simply because there is no one else. You can't keep people in a care home for 60, 70 years. One of my artwork pieces says, special needs children grow old. People have to understand the situations, what people are in, because people can be in dreadful situations. I use the library, I always have, and now it's been turned into a warm space for people. Torpoint is very lucky to have Torpoint Library. They are a lifeline. There's certainly people in there which I care about. One of the staff sometimes gives me food. I was given some blankets actually last week at the library. There we go. They were knitted apparently by somebody. A lot of desperate lives to come on, Mum, and it's that what really frightens me.